What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we finally have information as to how we actually receive the Sanji and Pudding dual unit. So as you can see, it is going to be available on a Sugo-Fest. We actually knew this information quite a bit earlier on today, actually. You know, I think a little bit after news o'clock. The Korean version of Treasure Cruise had a data download introducing this brand new Sugo-Fest. I was waiting for it to come out on Global because I had a feeling it was going to be downloaded not long after, and here we are right now on Global with the data download. So in this video today, I'm going to go over the new Sanji and Pudding dual unit once again, and we'll also talk about the Sugo-Fest. I guess before we get into it, I just want to say that I'm not a big fan of the fact that they introduced this one dual character and just input it into this Sugo-Fest. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, when we get into the structure of the Sugo-Fest, you can understand why this Sugo-Fest is a bit of a celebration, I guess, but it's just really odd, and honestly, the character really isn't that good to be warranted enough to be doing enough pulls to get this character. This character is guaranteed in this Sugo-Fest, but after a pretty decent amount of gems, and we'll go through that as I said, but let's just quickly overview the dual character once again for those that that actually missed the video that I uploaded a couple of days ago. I love the artwork of this character. If we actually click on this, you guys can see the full artwork there. The artwork looks amazing. I really love the way that they've done this dual unit with the film reels. You've got Pudding on one side, Sanji on the other. It looks really, really good. I'm just not a fan of the way that they've actually built the character because they're really not overly amazing. In terms of the dual captain effect, when they are fully combined, boost chance of landing on recovery slots, makes them beneficial, and will also boost strength, dex, and quick characters attack by 3.25, as well as giving them a 1.5 times recovery boost. It's a pretty good captain effect overall. I just think that for a dual character, it's just okay, honestly. It's just okay. As for their special ability, 12 turn cooldown after limit break, changes adjacent slots into recovery, which is good. Massively reduces a portion of each enemy's dealt damage that exceeds 3,000 for one turn. That is also really good. Damage threshold applied to your own crew is very, very useful. Very similar to Raid Bartolomeo, who does a very similar thing. So that's really nice. So on top of all of that, they also will give you a 1.75 times color affinity to strength, dex, and quick characters for one turn. That's also pretty good. And they will combine into the dual unit Sanji and Pudding for 2 turns. This is what I'm saying, like, the character, it will definitely see play, I think. You know, 1.75 color affinity for 3 colors is pretty good. The fact that you can use the special to tank, like, enemies, like, massive death damage is also pretty good. Adjacent orbs into recovery is also pretty good. Like, it's just a pretty good character, but, I don't know, man, because the fact is this character doesn't have a 4-star variation. This character is only available as a 5-star character. So if you're, you know, saying, you know, you want to do a couple of pulls just to see if you can get this character, the chances are not going to be very good because you can't pull them unevolved, which 4-star characters have a much higher chance to be pulled. So it's just not going to happen. But in terms of the solo captain abilities, for Sanji is a dex character, by the way. He will go ahead and slightly increase the chances of landing on a recovery orb and then give your strength, dex, and quick characters 2.5 times attack as well as a 1.2 times recovery. It's just okay. And then for Pudding, her captain ability, very similar. Instead of increasing the chances of recovery orbs, she's just going to make recovery orbs beneficial. And then the same as Sanji, being a 2.5 times attack captain with a 1.2 times recovery. Again, just okay. They actually have a limit break abilities as well. Slot bind resistance by 5 turns. And also recovery bind resistance also by 5 turns. Not too shabby. They don't have a support ability, which is kind of a missed opportunity. I would have loved for them to have a support ability. In terms of their crewmate ability, so when they are subs, they will boost the top row characters by 60 for their attack. And also they will go ahead and treat your entire crew's recovery orbs as beneficial. That's really nice as a sub. So when you use their special, you're guaranteed to get at least 3 guaranteed matching orbs. Really, really good. And then when you switch between the 2 characters, very, very interesting swap effect. They will change strength, dex, and quick characters yellow and purple orbs into either red, green, blue, recovery, or tandem orbs. Very, very odd. So they will only shuffle away the purple and yellow orbs. As I said, it's not really a switch effect that you're really going to be using that much, and just goes to show, like, further on, like, proving my point that this character really isn't worth summoning for, in my personal opinion. However, what is worth summoning for are some of the other guaranteed characters in this Sugo-Fest. We have seen this Sugo-Fest come out on Japan before. Obviously, Sanji and Pudding are not available on Japan. This is only available on the global version and the Korean version thus far. But they, for some reason, decided to put this character into this Sugo-Fest to further incentivize pulling on it. So we'll go through the Sugo-Fest structure. The Sugo-Fest new special characters Sanji and Pudding Royal Matrimony arrives first on the English and French versions, as well as the Korean version of One Piece Treasure Cruise, and they will join your crew at max level. What's more, new Sanji and Pudding are guaranteed to join your crew as the last wanted poster on the 4th 10+1 rare recruit in part 1. So yes, it is a split into multi-part Sugo-Fest, and you have to do 4 multis for that character. So that character we just talked about, that character is not worth 4 multi-pulls. I don't care what anybody says, that character is not worth 4 multi-pulls. Honestly, they really should have put this Sanji and Pudding maybe on the Treasure Map Sugo-Fest. I think that would have been a little bit better for people to probably pull that character, but the fact that they're putting just another character just in a random Sugo-Fest is just really, really strange. And if they were going to do it, I would be okay with it if the character was like super duper OP. But they're just not. They're just not. This is not a character that is going to be required to beat content. This is more of like a collection type unit, I would say. I mean, I would love to have this character just because the artwork looks so goddamn cool, but at the end of the day, it's really not worth spending 4 multi-pulls to get him. However, there is something else interesting in this Sugo-Fest that would definitely tempt a lot of people. So, also in part 1, the third 10+1 rare recruit last wanted poster is guaranteed to be 5-star Sugo-Fest exclusive Charlotte KATAKURI. Strength KATAKURI, that is. This is not version 2 KATAKURI, but on part 1, if you do 3 multis, you're guaranteed to get Strength version 1 KATAKURI. That is really, really good. And I mean, my boy Mr. Slam Jam, you guys already know I'm a big fan of KATAKURI. Is he worth 3 multis? I would say if you don't have him, that's kind of worth it. I mean, but then again, you know, when you look at things these days, V1 KATAKURI isn't really your go-to captain in order to clear content. He just isn't, right? He just isn't. He's really lost strength over the past months since his release. His 3.3 captain really doesn't help you out all that often. More often than not, if you are using version 1 KATAKURI, it often works better if you partner him up with a non-version 1 KATAKURI friend captain, just to increase your power of your team. Version 1 KATAKURI is a very slow captain with the way that he's built, just because you want to try and get that delay off to then get his conditional boost off, which then will make him more powerful, understandably so. So, it really comes down to your own personal opinion in terms of if you want to be pulling on this Sugo-Fest. If I personally didn't have version 1 KATAKURI, I would be doing pulls this Sugo-Fest, but unfortunately, I pulled him a bunch of times, so I don't need to worry personally. But for you guys out there, it's something that you have to think about. Do you want to risk, you know, spending, you know, 3 multis worth of gems on a Sugo-Fest like this to get KATAKURI? Or do you want to use those 3 multis on, let's say, Luffy and Law, or Douglas Bullet, or Sai Luffy, or Sabo Koala? There are a bunch of good legends on the horizon for Global, and I really think it would be a better opportunity to spend it on those types of Sugo-Fests rather than spend it here. That's just my personal opinion. However, there is even further bait along in this Sugo-Fest. It says on the 7th is guaranteed to be 6+ Legend Big Mom. Yes, you heard that correct. 3rd multi KATAKURI, 7th multi 6+ version 1 Big Mom. So if you don't have Big Mom, you can do 7 multis and pick up the Super Evolved version straight away. Again, it's just the same sort of thing as KATAKURI. I personally am not a massive fan of Big Mom because the only reasons I would ever use her is on Dex-specific content. And outside of that, I don't really see too much of a use to use Big Mom. Honestly, if you had enough gems to do 7 multis here, you should have just done 7 multis on the previous Sugo that came out, where you could, you know, get the guaranteed legends on that 5th multi, and even on the 7th multi of that Sugo, guaranteed limited pool legend on number 7. I just don't think it's a really good idea to pull for these characters, unless if you're massive fans of the characters themselves in the anime/manga. Like me, myself, I'm a huge fan of KATAKURI. If I didn't have him, I would definitely be doing pulls here. Big Mom, she is good. She still can clear content. I don't doubt the things that she can clear. I'm just saying that she's really not that fun to use, or she's really difficult to use. You really have to think about the way that you're using her on the content that you're using her on. You really have to like knuckle down and think about the teams that you're using with her. But it's cool that they're doing it. For those people that don't have the characters, it is nice that it's there. Anyways, let's continue on. All wanted posters are guaranteed to be 4-star or better, so no silvers in the Sugo-Fest. And as I said, it's split into part 1 and 2. Part 1 is going to be from the 22nd until the 25th, and then part 2 will be from the 25th until the 27th. I would assume at this point that after the 27th will be a brand new Legend Batch Sugo-Fest. I'm expecting it to be V2 Zoro and V2 Mihawk. That's what a lot of people are predicting at this point. So I would say if you are more, you know, looking forward to those type of characters, you should probably just hold on to your gems. Part 1, as we said, we're going to have the discounted multi here on the first multi, but they're also allowing you a discount on the 5th multi as well, which is pretty interesting. The 2nd and 6th multi are guaranteed to be a legend as well. As we said, the 3rd multi-pull is guaranteed to be Strength version 1 Katakuri. 4th multi-pull is the brand new dual character Sanji and Pudding. And the 7th multi, guaranteed 6+ version 1 Legend Big Mom. And then the 8th and 10th multi are limited pool Sugo-Fest exclusives, which is actually pretty good as well. As for part 2, very, very similar structure, except that the Sanji and Pudding are not guaranteed on part 1. There's no Katakuri on part 2. There's no Big Mom on part 2. But you can see here, the 2nd and 6th are still a legend, 3rd and 7th are rate boosted characters, and then 8th and 10th are limited pull. So there's no reason to pull on part 2, really, in my personal opinion. If you want to be pulling, it should really be on part 1. I just think that this is a very, very weird filler Sugo-Fest for what's to come after the 27th of September. Now, as for the Part 1 limited pool, you've got Barto and Cavendish, you've got Charlotte Cracker as well, Capone, you have V2 Sanji, and you have version 1 Judge, V2 Doflamingo as well for Part 1. It's a pretty okay list of boosted characters. And then for Part 2, Sanji and Judge, Carrot, version 2 Katakuri, Dogstorm and Cat Viper, Jinbei, and V2 Jinbei, and also Legend Nami as well. So, overall, both parts have really good boosted legends, but it's just the Sugo-Fest structure itself. I think it's better to probably save your gems for a future Sugo that's going to be coming up. It says special characters will only be available for rare recruits with notices that mention them, so that would be referring to Sanji and Pudding. So that means that Sanji and Pudding are not going to be in the regular pool of rare recruits. That is very, very unfortunate, quite honestly, but I guess whenever we have like another specialty Sugo-Fest, maybe a New Year's or Christmas around that time period, they'll probably be putting to that type of pool for that specific Sugo-Fest. But that's about it. That's all the news that we have right now. I mean, it's just a side note as well. They are introducing a brand new support banner. You just don't pull on these banners. Like, don't even look at them. Don't even waste your gems on them. They're terrible. The support units are not worth it. You do not need them to clear content. If you pull on them, you eat glue. Like, you actually eat glue if you're pulling on these banners. There is no reason to be pulling on those banners whatsoever. But the Sugo-Fest, there we go. We've gone through all the news with the brand new character, Sanji and Pudding. But that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. The treasure map comes out tomorrow. I'll be streaming the treasure map, so make sure to come by the stream if you guys are looking forward to it, because I am pretty much looking forward to it, especially trying to rank in that top 500 to get a guaranteed limited pool legends. Going to be really, really cool. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.